So one of the things that has annoyed me the most since I've had this 2022 Black Series HQ15 would be this right here. This blue accent light under the dinette does not have a readily available switch to turn it off. From the factory, the only way to turn this light off is to cut the power to the entire trailer. And, obviously that's an issue when you need power, but you don't want this light on to power other lights or your fridge and all that, your heat overnight. It's the worst at night when you're trying to sleep. This thing lights up the entire cabin of the trailer. But today, I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to turn this light off. So under the dinette here, this seat closest to the bathroom, we have our battery bank, we have our charge controller, and there's this open area right in here. And I've been talking to the folks at Black Series, and supposedly the wiring for this light and possibly even a switch is behind this little area. Now, the only problem is, you see we have this opening here. I can get my hand down in there, but there is a piece of plywood right here. So you just run into it. There's no way to reach into this area from over here. So the only way to get here is to cut an opening, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So my plan is to start off with a hole saw, drill a hole in, and this particular hole saw is not big enough, will not make a big enough hole for me to stick my hand in, but this is the biggest one that I have, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. But once I get the hole drilled, I might even do 2 holes, and then I'll just polish it up, make the opening any bigger, whatever size I need with the jigsaw here. So yeah, I'll actually do 2 holes. I guess I'll make it here and here, get a look at it, and then jigsaw the rest out. Alright. Wish me luck. Not the prettiest, but I can always go back and clean it up. Now, what do we have here? Okay, so this puny little wire. Alright, so this right here is our power to that light. As you see, it says right there, light. And it goes directly in here to the corner, that side of this light. And we'll pull it out. And I'm not seeing a switch. So there's no switch on here, unfortunately. But that is okay, because I did purchase one of these, a no frills, just 2-wire toggle switch that I am going to wire in to this, and I'll probably mount it, it's out of frame a little bit, but on the front side right here by the battery monitor, drill a hole Mount it right over here. Vacuumed up, cleaned up the sawdust a little bit, and I pulled the wires back out. As you can see here, what we have is a bullet connector. It's the positive and negative, and they had some electrical tape holding these together, but they plug and unplug, as you see here, and this just turns the light on and off, as you see. So what I'm going to do is wire in this little toggle switch, and to do this you're going to leave the negative plugged in, and then we'll just run the positive into one side, and then all we're going to do is run the red wire in one side through the switch and then out the other to the light. And this will allow us to turn it on and off via this switch. It's basically a break in the hot wire that's controlled by this little switch here. So now it's time to drill our hole and mount our switch here. This is just a simple toggle switch. They're relatively cheap, actually pretty dang cheap. I'll put a link in the description below if anybody wants to tackle this project and looking at a switch like this. I've been kind of debating on where I want to put it. Left side, bottom, right side, this battery monitor. And I think I'm going to mount it to the left side here. That way it's just easily accessible without having to reach too far under the dinette. And this over here is kind of getting close to this bracket for the support board over here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it over here. And this here is a 3/4 inch drill bit. Let's go ahead and now that we have our switch mounted in place, we can go ahead and connect our wires, and we will be done. I'm just going to get a little more wire exposed here. We can get a good connection.
When you trying to eat, I producing and rapping. I read that contract you sent me to sign, but excuse me, I can't help myself, I'm just laughing. Hey, you trying to
now over here, we'll go ahead and cut off these bullet connectors. Don't need that anymore.
Let's be professional. Thanks for your time, but I had to decline at that principle. I've been scheming up a plan, hey. I've been saving all I can, hey. You could call me David Rams, hey. The way I handle these bands, hey. We ain't messing with the old model. New era, new kid, we full throttle.
Okay, well, to reconnect these wires, I'm going to use these heat shrink solder tubing, and hopefully fit in here. Barely.
at all these other kids. I feel just a little bit ahead of them. You should know the business is competitive. There's a lot of people that I'm better than. Even veterans.
Bigger size.
I've been reinvesting all I ever spent. Stop pretending like you poppin'.
I'll link these little things below as well. Alright, so I have my, basically stick the wires in each end, make sure the actual wire is touching that gray piece in the middle. That's solder. We'll heat it up, it'll melt, solder wires together, and do a heat shrink wrap all in one shebang. So here, this here, hold those in place right there.
Spending money in some really funny ways, man. I promise you ain't really getting paid. Yeah, show a couple bands flexing on the Instagram, and nobody getting fans that way. Yeah, well, you really dumb if you spend all your funds on some clothes and your tape need work. Yeah, you ain't gonna stand if you ain't a businessman, man. I promise you the plan ain't gonna work. Yeah, rappers spending money in some really funny ways, man. I promise you ain't really getting paid. Yeah, show a couple bands flexing on the Instagram, and nobody getting fans that way. Yeah, well, you really dumb if you spend all your funds on some clothes and your tape need work. Yeah, you ain't gonna stand if you ain't a businessman.
If I could do this all over again, knowing where the wire is now, I wouldn't have cut such a big hole in here. I'll probably just get a piece of flooring and cover that up. But now that you know where the wire is, you can just drill one little hole and maybe fish it out with a hook or something. But you know, that's life. And now, as you can so beautifully see, that we have a way to turn off this blue light. Ah, it's amazing. Finally, I can sleep at night in this camper.